It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 13th of November. I'm Michael Groff. Another warm day expected here in the valley. Temperatures above average with a mix of sun and clouds. We'll see more or less the same thing for tomorrow, but then that much advertised big change in the weather pattern comes in here with the first of two, possibly three systems beginning to affect the region on Saturday and continuing into Sunday. We'll see an increase in clouds, rain, some scattered thunderstorms, mountain snow, breezy conditions, and temperatures. Yes, they're headed down. Then as we head into next week, it's more of the same. A further cooling trend will continue, and another round or two of showers, maybe some thunderstorms, and higher elevation snow. Now, we're still ironing out the details of this forecast. Where, when, how much, how long it all lasts, how cool will it get? All of that, we'll talk about it in detail as we dive on in and discuss. First, let's look at the Almanac from yesterday. 86 degrees was the afternoon high here in Phoenix after a morning low of 61. 78 and 55 are now the averages for this time of the year. And as we take a look outside right now, just before 7 a.m., there's some high clouds out there roaming about. We're sitting at 64 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 39, relative humidity 39%. The winds are light. And the barometer 30.01 inches and rising. Satellite picture out here across the west. And yeah, we've got high clouds streaming over the southwest. Our big weather system, our first of at least two or three systems, is sitting off the west coast right now, ramping up. And so some of that moisture is streaming in here. Again, this is just mid and high level cloudiness, no precipitation as of yet. We'll see the clouds continue to increase by the time we get later into tomorrow and especially on Saturday as that system approaches the region. The watch warning map, obviously the winter weather advisories, the wind advisories, and everything associated with that system beginning to affect the West Coast, the Sierra up into the Cascades, and we'll continue to see that as that system slowly progresses eastward. Right now, no advisories for Arizona. And we'll, of course, have to see how that fills in over the next 24 to 36 hours. Convective outlook for today. We don't anticipate any organized severe weather, but some thunder possible in California. Again, as that system begins to slowly meander its way toward the west coast. The tropics and the Atlantic basin, nothing going on here now. Nothing expected for the next 7 days. It is very quiet, and it does appear, knock on wood, that we can put the hurricane season to bed for the year 2025. Of course, it does run through the 30th of November, so obviously we're going to keep an eye on things. In the East Pacific, not much going on here either, and not expected to see anything over the next 7 days. All right, here we go. The precipitation outlook valid through Thursday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, 1.5 to 2 inches. Locally higher amounts possible. Of course, we'll see heavier totals for those favored areas of northern eastern Maricopa, parts of northern Pinal, Gila, up into portions of Yavapai and Coconino County, even over into parts of Mojave and far northern La Paz County. Obviously, the upslope areas and along the California coast, as well as we'll see at least a couple of systems coming on in here. Let's try to figure out the details of this very active pattern right now as we get to the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go. This is the GFS. It's the 06Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet up. And two rather large troughs of low pressure bookend the country here, one off the east coast and one just off the west coast of the U.S. In between, yeah, we've got an area of high pressure, and that's resulting in above average heights around here, temperatures remaining above average, and that's what it's going to spell out for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today. Yes, a mix of sun and clouds, mostly mid and high level clouds, but still, temperatures will top out somewhere in the mid 80s, maybe upper 80s, close to 90 for the warmest desert spots. For tonight, some clouds around. Overnight lows will be in the mid to upper 50s for the cool spots, low 60s or so in the urban core, and then tomorrow, basically the same forecast, a mix of sun and clouds, high temperatures, low to mid 80s. Temps will be down a couple of degrees, but other than that, no real changes. You see, our weather system is still well off to our west. This is taking its dear sweet time to come on in here and impact the region. So we don't anticipate any precipitation across the state tomorrow. But by tomorrow night, especially as we head into Saturday, showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, some higher elevation snow will begin to creep its way into Arizona. So by the morning hours, we'll start to see the rain coming into the Colorado River Valley, the western portion of the state. By the afternoon, showers and isolated thunderstorms will move into south central Arizona, including Phoenix. We'll start to see the precipitation picking up across northern Arizona during the day on Saturday as well. And it will be breezy at times, but because at least a portion of the day should be dry here in Phoenix, despite the increase in clouds and the heights coming down, I still anticipate temperatures probably making it into the upper 70s here in the south central deserts. And it's not inconceivable we could even touch 80 degrees. It really depends on when the precipitation starts to come on in here and the cloud cover and all of that. But we will see those showers and storms picking up. Now, if you really want to find the heavier rain on Saturday, it's still over Southern California and up into portions of Southern Nevada and creeping into the western part of the state. Now, Saturday night, we'll see the rain becoming more widespread. Showers, some widely scattered thunderstorms. We don't anticipate any severe weather with this feature, right? Because it's just not that dynamic of a system. Although, if you do find some of those isolated storms, they could produce some brief gusty winds and some small hail, but they'll stay sub-severe in all probability. And of course, the snow levels will start to come down. Initially, they'll be up about 10,000 feet on Saturday, but they'll come down closer to 7,000, maybe even as low as 6,500 feet by the time we get to Saturday night and early Sunday. And that means Flagstaff could see some snowflakes flying by Saturday, late Saturday and early Sunday. Speaking of Sunday, still showers likely, a chance of thunderstorms, especially in the morning. Then we'll start to see the precipitation decrease slowly from west to east, but still a chance at some showers even in the afternoon. It will be a bit cooler, high temperatures, mid 60s to about 70 or so. A little bit of sun is going to poke out. This is not going to be a non-stop rain event, but very showery. Rain will be more on than off, at least from late Saturday night, into at least the first part of the day on Sunday. All right, let's keep it going. This is Monday. That system's going to move out of here. Still, there could be a couple of instability showers around during the day on Monday. We're kind of between systems at this point. Partly sunny, high temperatures, upper 60s, maybe low 70s. So we go from above average temperatures that we've been experiencing for quite some time to slightly below average temperatures here. But again, this is nothing that's crazy unusual for mid-November here in Arizona. All right, Tuesday, the next system begins to impact the region, and this one maybe doesn't have quite as much moisture, although it does appear to be a little bit stronger, so it's kind of a wash here. We'll see a band of showers, some embedded thunder, and some higher elevation snow once again with this, starting on Tuesday afternoon, maybe into Tuesday night. The timing on this is a little bit uncertain. We'll have to get that first system out of here to really kind of pin this down, but anywhere from, I'd say, at least the first, midday Tuesday through early to midday Wednesday is the window for this next system to impact the region. And again, high temperatures, mid to upper 60s. So again, below average. Let's keep it going. This is Wednesday. Chance of showers and some isolated thunderstorms around. Higher elevation snow. Temperatures here in Phoenix, mid 60s or so. It's going to feel great. It's a week from today. This is Thursday the 20th. And so system number 2 is out of here, but the GFS has a third system that's descending down the California coast. And if that's right, the day on Thursday is probably dry. We've got clouds in here, no doubt about that, but the rain would be across California with higher elevation snow for the Sierra, maybe moving into Nevada, perhaps knocking on the door of western Arizona by late Thursday night and early Friday morning. Speaking of, this is Friday, the 21st, and that system is slowly making its way eastward, and as that happens, we'll start to see an increase in showers, maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two, and again, higher elevation snow. High temperatures will remain below average, likely somewhere in the 60s to near 70. And then this is the end of the forecast period, Saturday the 22nd, and that system begins to move out. And actually, the GFS shows kind of a weak little follow-up shortwave cutting through central and southern California sometime Saturday. That could be kind of system 3B, or I guess system number 4 kind of technically, but I wouldn't count on that. Again, we're way out here toward fantasy land. But the idea, the trend, is for a broadly unsettled weather pattern to take shape, really starting this weekend and potentially continuing all the way into the following weekend. But just for shiggles, let's take a look at the Euro AI as we go out here into next week. And this is obviously the synoptic look for Saturday, the 22nd off the GFS. This is the Euro AI next Thursday, rather, the 20th. And there's that area of low pressure here over the southwest. And again, we would see rain, higher elevation snow, if that's right. So the Euro AI has two distinct systems coming in. The Euro AI is slightly slower with this second system. It kind of brings it in more in the Wednesday, Thursday timeframe, whereas the GFS is more mid-Tuesday to mid-Wednesday. Again, we're going to be able to fine-tune this as we get closer, but the idea, again, of unsettled weather for much of next week still looks likely. And then out toward 10 days off the Euro AI, this is Saturday the 22nd, and that system's out of here. It's got another upper low that's well to the south of us, west of central Baja. Way down there, it's probably not going to have any implication on our weather. Could it eject northeast and affect us? Yes. Could it stay to the south and probably not give us much other than some breezy conditions? Yes. But again, this is out here in fantasy land, and we're going to see lots and lots of different solutions before we get here. So we're just going to look for trends at this point. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix. This is off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 27th of November. Yes, that would be Thanksgiving. And if this works out, about 2 inches is the ensemble mean here for Phoenix during that time. And you've got individual members, 3 and 4 inches of rain. The GFS now, the ensemble is actually, the mean is the highest of the 3 major ensembles, because here's the Euro. It's about a little over an inch. Euro AI ensemble is kind of split the difference. It's about 1.5 inches. So, again, if we go with this model, the Euro AI, the ensemble, which has been the most reliable over the last few months, well, that's still not a bad amount of rain for us, 1.5 inches. We've had some comments about whether or not this is a La Niña pattern. And my thoughts on La Niña and the fact that really we have been anticipating as La Niña begins to ramp up here as we go into later this month, December, January, February. This is not what we would traditionally see. However, what is a pattern really? What is the La Niña pattern? Well, it doesn't always produce the same outcome. Not every La Niña is the same. La Niña, typically, if we go by probability, it is more likely that we'll have drier conditions here over the southwest U.S. and actually over the southern tier of the United States. That is the traditional La Niña. But they're not always that way. Remember, the winter of 22-23 produced substantial rainfall across most of the West and higher elevation snow. The Sierra, some spots had record snowfall, and that was a pretty strong La Niña. In fact, that was the triple dip La Niña. That was the 3rd year in a row of La Niña conditions, but that one turned out different from what most do. And if I remember correctly, if I looked at the statistics, because I looked fairly recently, about almost 70%, I think it's 69% of La Niñas result in below average rainfall here in Phoenix and across most of Arizona. But that's not 100%. So, it's just probability. We just kind of play the odds here of what is more likely than not. But remember, weather is weird, and weather is going to do what weather is going to do. We can only tell you the probability. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way, and that's okay. That's what makes this interesting. If it always went the way we thought it would go, then this would be a pretty boring gig, and probably nobody would really watch at all. There'd be no interest at all because we'd all know what's going to happen. It's that uncertainty. That's the challenge that makes weather, meteorology, and a lot of things in life so interesting. All right. Looking at temperatures off the national blend of models as I wax philosophically here. Temps above average again today and tomorrow, but then, big dip as we head into the weekend and next week. And now it will finally feel more like fall. Really, this is almost just like kind of winter. We just sort of transition neatly from sort of post-summer. It's hard to even call it fall, right? Post-summer into winter. And that's where we're going. Temperatures mostly in the 60s, lows 40s and 50s for most of next week and beyond. All right, looking at the CPC outlook for the 8 to 14 day period. This is November 20th through the 26th. If this is correct, probability is skewed toward temperatures below average, not just here in Arizona, but across most of the western United States. Precipitation is skewed toward above average here for, again, most of the west, but especially here across much of Arizona. And that's something that is music to my ears. Love to hear that. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, and of course you do, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, you want to support the channel, well, by all means, do so by clicking that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make a contribution to us that way, or via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below, so take advantage of that also. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything Michelle related, Kylie related, Adriana related. It's all linked up down in the description below. So give that a look and a listen and all of that. Peruse that, if you will, at your leisure, of course. Then our streaming station, available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun over there as well. So I highly encourage you to check that out. Check out Dan over at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, the Courtroom Files on YouTube, courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. Dan runs an amazing channel. Great stuff. Lots of content, so check that out as well. He supports us. You support him. It's kind of that symbiotic relationship that we love so much around here. All right, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It's amazing. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe. Still, though, yeah, it's kind of warm out there. Stay cool, stay hydrated, have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Thursday.